So, hello, this is Cheryl Wackenheim. I'm the instructor for Economics 201, Principles of Microeconomics. The course is about microeconomics, hence the title. It basically is about how consumers make decisions and how producers make decisions, how anybody makes decisions about using resources. And we look at it from a production side, how to produce, what to produce, how much to produce, as well as a consumption side, what to buy. It falls under both the social and behavioral sciences category and the global perspective category for Gen Ed. It meets both of those requirements. And detailed course objectives are at the beginning of each chapter, so you'll get an idea, a pretty good idea of what you're going to learn. It is offered through distance and continuing education, which means it doesn't count under the 12 credit maximum fall tuition fee. So, for example, if you're taking more than 12 credits, you'll have to pay for this class. For example, if you're taking 15 credits, those 3 credits additionally do not fall under the tuition cap, wherein you only pay for 12 credits. They actually, you get pay for them separately, so you end up paying for 15 credits. Plan ahead for personal issues. I have a bunch of information there. You can begin this class immediately, and I encourage you to begin this class immediately. And I encourage you to stay well ahead of the deadlines, which we'll talk about. And this is probably the most important slide on here, is that you need to plan ahead for technological and personal issues. So things are going to go wrong. There's very few people that can go through an entire semester with nothing unexpected coming up. So you don't expect your pet to need surgery. You don't expect your grandfather to die. You don't expect to get stuck in the field during a hunting expertise because the car broke down and you can't get back. You don't expect the computer not to work on the night that you reserved for doing the assignments. You don't expect a specific thing, but you can expect something's going to happen that's unexpected that takes your time. So, and I have found over the years, I've been teaching 22 years, and I found over the years I simply can't decide what's important. Sometimes it's more important that you attend your brothers in the state wrestling meet. It's more important for you to attend that state wrestling meet than maybe for a student who is going to a funeral. The funeral would naturally sound more important, but in fact, it may not be. And I can't make that choice. I can't decide what's important to you and what's not. So I built flexibility into the schedule. So you don't need to ask me, is it okay that I missed this chapter? Because there are 2 chapters that you can completely miss. I'm going to drop the points from 2 entire chapters, with the exception of news articles and videos, which I'll show you in a minute. But that way you don't have to ask me, can you extend the deadline? I tried really hard. I was up late, but I couldn't work because the computer was broken. You don't have to ask me that because you get to drop 2 chapters, and you need to save those chapters for when something really goes wrong. Because if you ask me to extend your deadlines, the answer has to be no. Because there's probably going to be 100 students in this class, and students will naturally have all these issues come up. And again, it's not fair if I let some students extend the deadline for them and not others. So you're good to go. Stay 3 days ahead. Try to get everything done 3 days before the deadline. I know that's not always realistic, but give it your best shot. And I really, really want you to succeed in this class. So there you go. Plan ahead. Correspondence is important. You can reach me even when I'm not in the office, which I'm sometimes not in the fall because I do a lot of research in the fall. I always have access to email. I always have access to the phone. So if you want to shoot me an email and have me give you a call back, I'd be glad to do so. If you can provide me your phone number, that'd be super great. Obviously, for administrative issues with regards to the class and for content issues, you want to know why the supply curve shifts right, for example, then you can go ahead and let me know. That's my job, and I love my job. So please contact me as often as you want about understanding the course material. If something's wrong with Connect or something's wrong with Blackboard, generally I can't solve that problem, or I can't solve it very efficiently because I don't have access to your account. I have access to your work, but I don't have access to your account. So if you have something wrong with Connect, you can't figure out how to get your Connect to load, or you can't figure out how to even sign up for Connect, just give them a call. They're incredibly responsive. You can see there they have great hours of operation. Generally, I haven't, I call the same number you guys call, and generally I don't stay on hold very much, if at all. I generally get somebody right away. They can help you. The issue is if you go through me, I have to call them anyway because I don't have access to your account. So you explain the problem to me, I call them, explain the problem to them, then they have questions, I have to call you back, and then you tell me the answer and I call them back and so on. So it's easier if you call them directly. And the same is true with Blackboard. Just call ITS. The information's there. It's also available on the website. You can also just stop by. Okay, the course materials, I use the 19th edition of McConnell, Brew, and Flynn because the 19th edition in microeconomics has changed very little. A lot of the macro stuff has changed now, but the micro stuff has changed very little. It's a good textbook. I got it for a reasonable price, and I know price is important to you. I do require Connect access, but the entire package for Connect and the textbook is $100, which is less than most textbooks. So I have your, financial resources are not abundantly available, so I have that in mind. You can get the study guide. If you add the study guide to the package, it's an extra $13. So while $113 is not nothing, hopefully it's the best option I could get for you and make this class work. So I hope it's okay. This is the second most important slide, is that you need to always enter the course directly through Blackboard. When you do any kind of work, even do a quiz, do a homework assignment, you need to go through Blackboard. You can't go directly into Connect, because if you go directly into Connect, it won't talk back to Blackboard. It won't tell Blackboard how you did, what your grade is, and so on. And then we have to go in and manually enter the grades one by one. And well, that's not as fun as if we don't have to do it. So I don't know why this is this way, because you would think in today's technological world you should be able to access however you want to, but go through Blackboard, please. Thanks. So there's 2,122 points. There's a lot of points. When you're doing the work, you can't use students, faculty, and so on to help you on a quiz or an exam. Don't use other people when you're taking a quiz or an exam. If you need some help on a homework, they can't do it for you, but certainly you can get some help on a homework if they're willing to explain it to you. I don't have any problem with that. Off limits as well, as if some reason you have access to old exam questions and that sort of thing, please don't use them. That sort of falls under the honor code as not okay. So if you have questions that are on an exam or a quiz already, don't use them. There's no right or wrong there's no gray area. You just don't use them. But otherwise, go ahead and use what you need to look up the information and help figure it out. A lot of times YouTube is really great about explaining some of this stuff as well. And there's PowerPoint slides from the publisher available to you as well on our Blackboard. The course is not that easy. I mean, it's not that hard, but it's relatively time consuming, like if I taught it in the classroom and anybody else taught it in the classroom. So you need to put some time into it. Generally, 2/3 of the students are better get A's and B's, so it's not that hard, but you do need to plan ahead and put some time into it. And I think you'll enjoy it. It's fun stuff. Who doesn't like economics, huh? Okay, there's the information about, you see most of the points are in the final exam in the chapters. So I'm going to go ahead and show you that. So this is the individual stuff. I'm going to show it one by one. You start with a self-introduction and Connect introductory assignments to show you how to use Connect. Then the Learn Smart, the assignments, the logic cases, videos, and news articles are available as well. Everything is shown, and I'll show you in a minute what everything is shown. Actually, I can just show you now. Everything is shown like that, so you'll be able to see everything that's due for Chapter 1. And I'm going to go through each one of those items. It's due at midnight on the day indicated in the syllabus. So for example, on September 10th is the first stuff is due, the syllabus quiz, which helps me know that you're understanding how the course works, and it helps you because you understand all the nuances of the course. So it'll make things a lot easier if you go ahead and take a syllabus quiz, because the questions just sort of outline the stuff that generally students have problems with, or they didn't quite understand going into it. The self-introduction and the Connect introductory assignments. It'll say in Blackboard that they're due at 12:30 a.m. on the 11th. That's because I can't put, essentially if I put midnight, it's on the 11th, and if I put 12:59, then I didn't give you enough time. So I put it down as September 11th. It'll say September 11th, but it's 12:30 in the morning. So you need to be done by midnight on September 10th or shortly thereafter. So that's what it looks like. The one thing that I want to show you is right off the limits, alternatives, and choices. It's called Learn Smart. And I want to show you what it looks like, because this is only 10 points for each chapter, but it's the way that you can work through the book. You can sit down and read your book, but students somehow don't prefer to do that. And so a good way to work through the book is to do this activity. They've changed the name to Smart Book apparently, but you go through, you read the stuff. This is a question. This just happens to be from macroeconomics, but you put down what you think is the answer. If you don't know what the answer is, then it's going to show you what to do. If you have no idea, then it's going to bring you to the chapter as shown there. Okay, so it'll help you. Okay, all right, so we talked about the self-introduction. The self-introduction, one other thing is go ahead and answer all the questions, all of them, even if the answer is I don't care to share, because I don't want to pry beyond that what you're comfortable with. I want to know about you because I'll never, well, very rarely do I encounter a student that's in the class unless they come for extra help or something in the office. So I want to know as much as I can about the class and about individual students, but I don't want to sort of pry beyond that what you're comfortable with. So if you don't want to answer question number 3, just put I don't prefer to answer this question. If you don't want to answer question 4, again, right, I don't prefer to answer this question. You have to do it question by question because I had a student, always we have these rules based on what people did in the past. I had a student indicate just at the beginning they turned in something that says I don't prefer to answer any of these questions. So just go ahead and answer as much as you would and don't answer what you're not comfortable with. Okay, the chapter assignments are 20 points. You can do them as often as you like. You can do the chapter assignments over and over again until you have the grade that you like. And generally, they're relatively straightforward. If you need help, you can ask me or you can ask somebody that's handy to you. There's a logic case. Some of them are longer than others, but it gives you an opportunity to apply what you've learned. Then we have videos and news articles. There are only some chapters that have them. There's 4 chapters that have video assignments. There's 3 chapters with a news article, and then there's 2 chapters that have both. So each one of these activities is worth 10 points. So you can see there that what's available to you, and it adds up to 110 points, which is not all that many. It's essentially one chapter. I don't drop them. So if you're dropping chapter 2 and chapter 3, you still need to do the news article and the video. Okay? So if you are dropping chapter 2 and 3, you still need to do the news article and video. If you're dropping chapter 10, there's nothing to do because there's no news article or video. So go ahead and complete those. They will fall under the chapter activity. So for chapter 3, they will both the video and the news article will show up so that you'll be all squared away. Quizzes, the syllabus quiz we talked about. Then there's a quiz for each chapter. It's worth 20 points, just 10 questions. You can take it once. Once you enter it, you need to take it, and you don't get to take it again. So if you do that, it's only worth 20 points. So if you do it and you don't do as well as you like, maybe go back and do some of the other activities. Spend a little more time with them. Or look at the study guide or whatever else you need to do in order to understand the material better. Let me know, for example, if there's something in particular that you aren't comfortable with. Okay, after you're comfortable with all the material, take the exam. It's the same, essentially it's a different test bank, but they're the same kind of questions. You can only take it once, and there's a 50-minute time limit, which doesn't sound like much time, 2 minutes per question, but it is. I rarely have students, even students who have English not as their first language, have any trouble. Then the final exam is comprehensive. It includes information from all the chapters. It's a random draw of questions, so I can't give you specifics about which area to focus on. It's a 90-minute time period, so you have plenty of time to go ahead and do it, and you need to do that by December 3rd. So I made this high-speed check-off schedule so that you can know whether a lot of students want to know if they did something or they didn't do something. This has all the activities, for example, the syllabus quiz. You see here, it's a quiz, so you only have an open box for the quiz. You can check off, I did it. The self-introduction is an assignment. This is an assignment for Chapter 1. We have Learn Smart, check, assignment, check, logic case, check, quiz, and exam. So you can use this schedule. It's in your syllabus. Then finally, the only other thing I want to show you is that with these videos, you'll need to check these off separately because they are not on the checklist, but they are in your syllabus, so you'll be able to do that as you go through. Okay, we have an honor code. In other words, we already went through what I consider cheating and what I don't consider cheating. If you have any special requirement, I really suggest that you go to disability concerns because disability services can help you. And what they'll do, if you go to them and say, for example, if you're blind, you go to them and probably you already have, but and say, listen, I'm blind. They will call me and they will work on something with me to make the class work for you. So it's better to go directly to them because that's generally what I'm going to have to do anyway to make some kind of accommodations. Veterans, if there's something specifically going on, let me know if you need to deploy or something like that. We're strongly encouraged to facilitate that. Anything else you need to let me know what's going on, good, bad, otherwise. And then finally, I'm going to ask about you. I'm going to tell you about me. I've been in here for 16 years, and previously for 6 or 7 years or some other number of years, I was at Illinois State University in Central Illinois. I have an undergraduate degree from animal science in the University of Minnesota. I have my graduate degrees from Michigan State, and I essentially took this job from Illinois State to come home, and I loved every minute of it. So I've been here a long time, and I've watched NDSU grow, and it's great. So these are my children. I have 2 children. I'm 47, and my children are 11 and 9. So I'm kind of an old parent, but it's really fun when you're an old parent because, in fact, a lot of stuff I don't hear anymore. So if things are going on, they're arguing or whatever children do, it's much more relaxing for me. And I'm in the Minnesota National Guard. This is me in Afghanistan. I was in Afghanistan 2011, 2012, and previously I was in Iraq. My job there was an egg business development team, so I was helping vaccinate cows at this point. So that's all I got. So let's get started, and thanks for taking the class, and let me know what I can do for you. All right, bye.